So we are going to tint the brows. You guys already know the process because you guys have seen me multiple times. So she's saying she doesn't want them too dark. So I'm gonna use again the Reflecto Seal. And we're gonna go with the number 3, which is the natural brown. I'm gonna add a little bit of the black, but I'm not going to go too crazy with it just because she just doesn't want them too dark, which is perfectly fine with me. That's about how much I'm putting in. And so I'm just, of course I'm going to wax after, so it's going to look so much better. But as I'm going to start off to put it on, okay, I'm going to lift again. We're not going to keep it on too long. We just want to give a little bit of color, but I don't want to make them too dark. And again, I'm just cleaning with Vaseline. I'm not using anything magical. Once you apply the product, the key is to try to clean it as well as you can. That way it doesn't stain. So whatever you do to one side, you will absolutely do it to the other side. Again, brush all of this up. Okay. So I clean it up with Vaseline, and I use this like a concealer just to kind of clean it up and create the sharpness. Okay. right? And this, you typically leave it on like what, 10 to 12 minutes, really just depending on how intense or how dark you want them to be. In this case, we don't want them to be too dark. To wait for the other one, and then we're going to wax. Usually I like to tint first and then wax. That's when you'll actually get to see how clean it looks. So when I wax, again, I like to use these thin ones. Coffee stir sticks is what I call them, but you know, very thin. They even have some that look like this, you guys. Very thin. You guys see? They're almost like orange wood sticks in a way. Okay. That's what they look like, and we are using soft wax. Soft wax has a lower melting point, so you want to grab some from the middle. Always wipe your stick, okay? Remember, you only want to have wax, a small bead, on one side of the spatula, okay? So remember, I like to lift the eyebrow so that I can see. I'm going to start right in here. Remember, we're working with the very tip. And then as I get there, I like to flatten out my spatula and go down just like that. Okay, hold it for me. Assistance. Okay, here I grab my fabric. I always make sure that they're curved, and I apply it just on top of it very lightly. Okay, I do not apply it like that and then start rubbing. No, I want to make sure that I can see the hair that I want to leave on. Okay, holding the skin taut, parallel to the skin. Look how clean. Close it, lift. Look how nice. You guys see? Beautiful, right? So I will never re-wax over that area, okay? If there is any hair left, even if it's one or two, I'll just tweeze them, but I won't wax over it, okay? Usually soft wax, you just do once and that's it, okay? Now I'm just gonna do a tiny little cleanup strip right there to get rid of any color. Very nice and clean. Okay, if you ever feel like you apply too much wax or it's going to be too thick, you guys, bring it down. Okay, always be careful with the client's eyes, of course. Okay, there goes the spatula. All right, right in there. Again, I'm holding the skin tight. Okay, and again, she didn't really have hair there, but still it's peach fuzz, and now look how much cleaner it looks. Okay, you can definitely see the difference. Okay, brushing this down. I'm gonna clean up the top. I usually do one whole brow and then I go to the next one, but you can work side to side if that's what you prefer. Okay, right in here. Be careful you don't remove too much hair. Again, just depending on what the client wants, right? I'd rather do 2 sections here. Start with the beginning and then work on the tail. Whatever you would prefer. Again, apply my fabric. I'm going to keep going. Right in here. Flatten out your spatula. Go straight down. And this is a Pellin fabric that comes in a roll, and it's just pre-cut. I cut them myself. So holding taut, put a little pressure. Okay. In the corner, it's color. So I'm just gonna do a little strip there to help remove that little stain. You guys see it? Or no? Maybe it was just me. Okay. You guys see it? It's gone. So you have to have an eye for things like that, all right? But usually if you're going to be tinting and waxing, I would say tint first and just try to be as clean as you can, and then wax. Okay, so there you go. Look how pretty. Beautiful, right? She has awesome brows naturally. So she gets red naturally. A lot of clients do that, so don't freak out over that. Just as long as you are checking the temperature of your wax and making sure that you are not burning anyone, and sanitation big time. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna do the other side. So excuse me. When I do the other side, I like to stand in front of the client, and I'm big on lifting the brow. That's a big tip. So I lift, okay? It is common for clients to have more hair on one brow than the other. And our goal is to try to balance, right? They're not going to be exactly identical. Hold it for me. Okay. So again, apply your fabric right on the corner, working with the edges of your fabric, making sure that that wax is not moving upward. Okay. We are now going to hold our skin taut and go for it just like that. Okay. Look at that. Beautiful. Thank you. She's the perfect brow model, huh? If only all the clients' brows were like this. So this is usually what the fabric looks like, and I just simply cut them like this. So I curve them. I curve them, and that's how I create the strips. Okay. You can buy these pre-cut, but it's up to you. Okay. Just to show you guys what I did. Okay. Under. Again. Be very careful. This needs to go on very thin, okay? Soft wax does not need to go on very thick. Thin is what works. Okay. Hold taut. Pull. Very good. If you have any wax residue, again, just do a blend strip. Make sure that you're not applying the fabric over the entire brow, or you will be removing hair that you want to keep. Okay, so right away we can see our shape. It's starting to take place. I'm gonna grab a bigger spatula, just a normal standard size. I'm going to clean up the top. Okay. Just like that. When you're doing brows, it's all about precision. You have to be very precise. As you build more experience, you get to move a little quicker, but if you're practicing, you have to take your time. Okay. So again, now I'm doing the tail. Good. You feel okay? And she gets pretty red naturally each time she gets wax, so. Just like that. Holding tight from the top, folding it. Any wax that's left, I would just suggest that you guys use the wax remover. Just like that. If you have any leftover hairs that you need to tweeze, start to tweeze once you've removed, once you use your wax remover. Because a lot of times you'll have hair that's stuck on the skin from the wax, and the wax remover is going to help loosen that hair and make it easier for you to tweeze. Okay, so she hardly has any hairs left, very little, right? So we'll just take off what we can. This is clean. This is just a clean cotton round. Just because that wax remover is an oil base, so that's why it looks a little shining. Okay, just like that. So we have my tweezers. I'm gonna have her turn her head a little bit, holding the skin taut, finding the hair, grabbing it parallel to the skin in the same direction. Okay. What do you guys think? We messed up your brows, girl. You have no brows now. Just kidding. So I'm just using a calming oil now, very little, just because as you guys can see, her brows do get red. They're not as bad as usually. Usually she gets worse.
Maybe they're used to them now?
Maybe.
Probably.
So this is just the azulene oil. So it's like a calming oil. This will help with the redness. When clients get this red, I promise you that they most likely are aware that this happens. Okay. Now, if you wanted to fill in anyone's brows and, you know, do all the extra stuff, which is awesome, I always recommend Going above and beyond for your clients, you can use concealers that look like this. These concealer pencils are pretty good if you wanted to, for instance, highlight, you know, right underneath the brow for your client, just like this. And work exactly the same, but you can always, again, just to give it a little highlight. Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. Bless her heart, she gets so red. Look. Okay, other side. Again, just go around it with the concealer. You can use your favorite concealer or these pencils. Okay. All right.
Oh my gosh, they look. It is so good.